Poisonous vibration. Help my body run. I'm running for my life. Running for my life. Sipping on straight glory. Let the vibe slide over me. This beat is a chemical. Beat is a chemical. When I leave, don't save my seat.
Stand out with custom gear from Dab Marketing. No design fees, no minimum orders. Just premium sublimated shirts built for the service industry. Look professional, look sharp. Get your gear from Dab Marketing.
Happy Thursday, everybody. We are coming up on one of the most wonderful holidays of the year, and that's the 4th of July. I really like celebrating that. But first off, before we get into anything, we got some announcements to do. And we got Connie Phillips Insurance Company here with us, some of her ladies over there. We're going to educate everybody on some insurance. Do you have insurance? What your insurance covers, what it don't cover, and the list just goes on and on and on. You're probably going to be surprised at what's covered and what ain't covered. So if you have any questions, we're going to leave their phone numbers and stuff up here in a few minutes. You can call them, because me and Trudy probably will not have the answers to that question. So first of all, we got the Power Clean CETA event coming up October the 8th through the 11th. That is in Orlando, Florida. Go get registered for that event on that website. And then November the 3rd through the 5th is the greatest show on earth, and that's the Panhandle Expo. It's held in Panama City Beach, Florida. Again, this year, we had it there last year at the same resort, the same place. Wonderful venue there. We love it. So we're going to stay there for a few more years. A couple of classes. The 3rd is going to be paid classes. We're going to start with Alana's class, which is an AI class. You can get that class for $199, but you can get the promo code early bird special for the first 10 people, and you get in there for $150. The second class we're announcing is the parking lot striping class, which is myself and Jeffrey Blackman. It's a $399 class. You get a book with it. This is the book that you get with it. The book, if you go to his place in Texas and take this class, it's $1,500 a person, by the way. But we're going to give you this book, and then on top of that, the first 10 people that get registered get $50 off. So you're in this class for $300. Well worth the money. You'll make that back in your first job right off the bat. So with that being said, Trudy's got something she needs to announce. Then we'll get in here and let these ladies take this show over, and we'll talk insurance.
So can I just have your book?
Yeah.
Do I have to go? Oh, I can't have your book. I don't have to go to the class. I'm being funny right now.
I'll get you one if you want.
Right. No, I'm good. No. You know what? I will take the class because I want to learn too. Because I'm going to be doing nothing. That's going to be a couple months after my whole new shoulder comes in.
Yeah.
A whole new titanium one. Anyway, so if you are a Panhandle customer and you are watching us tonight, you have a chance to win this beautiful cooler. It's huge. Look at it. It's all patriotic, red, white, blue. This is from the host company. It's a 32 quart. It's going to hold a whole bunch of your Bud Lights or your Natty Lights or your seltzer waters or whatever you're into. And then we also have from Whisper Wash a 16-inch Freedom Series for America's 250th birthday. It's a 16-inch, so it's going to work on 5.5 or less. So what you need to do if you're a customer and you're here tonight, put an S for your surface cleaner or C for the cooler. And I will announce the winner via video, because I'm going to make sure you're a Panhandle customer, because my suppliers donated this to give to Panhandle customers. And I will make sure you're a customer. I'll push on one of those my technical terms, the little swirly thingy that goes around and it picks your winner. And then I will announce that on the 4th. So guys, if you're here, I hope you're here. And we'll probably announce it again just because people are coming in late, eating dinner, whatever. Just put a C or an S next to your name, because I don't want somebody winning a 16-inch if they've got a 10-gallon mint machine. It makes no sense. Or if you're like my husband, you have 30 coolers up in the shed and you don't need a cooler, that's it. But we'll announce that again soon, but they're sitting right here. They're ready boxed. Well, the cooler's not boxed up. It will be, but it's all boxed up, ready for a new home. And you know how hard it is for me to give away this cooler, Anthony. It's been.
I've been wanting that cooler for years, and I ain't got it yet. So.
It's been in here for over a year, just sitting here looking so pretty. Isn't that so pretty? It's just a pretty cooler. Plus, it matches my colors, and it's a beautiful little background. But anyway, we are here today to talk insurance. Hey, buddy, how you doing? We're talking insurance. And I know personally, I've had so many messages of people damaging substrates, damaging people's homes. We've seen a trailer on fire. We've seen people up on roofs doing things they shouldn't be doing. And I'm not sure if any of these guys are 100% sure that, if they're covered or not. So welcome, Dan and Anthony.
Hi, Trudy.
Hi, Trudy. Hi, Anthony. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm under the weather, so I'll be coughing, but I won't cough into the microphone, so I won't get you guys sick.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep it on your side.
Yeah. Well, they said the quickest way to get rid of something is to give it to somebody else, but I'm not that person. I won't do that.
Okay.
I don't want it.
I don't want it. We already have the heat.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
I feel bad for you. Well, we get it all the time, so I don't know if I feel bad for you. How often do you guys get the heat like this?
We get a break. It's been a couple years. This is like
This has been an
extreme.
extreme heat wave.
What they say up in New York, it was 14 years ago. It's been this hot.
Yeah, it's like way hot.
Way hot.
Yeah.
See, we love coming down there in November because it's cold up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's still warm here.
Exactly. But
So I know you had mentioned. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask if I was starting a pressure washing company,
Mhm.
what would be the best insurance that I could get? Say, would I need general liability? I know I had to have insurance on my truck, my trailer, everything. Correct?
Right. So, I mean, we always tell everybody that it's best to start with the general liability. And that's primarily to protect not only you, but your customers, because that's going to really protect you against that property damage. If and when something happens, like the siding, the, chemicals on the landscaping, just, the things that you see often, the doorknobs, the windows, a client trips and falls over your hose. That's all that general liability. So that's going to really protect your business against the damages that you can do to other people and your customers, even though obviously not on purpose, but it still happens. Of course, commercial auto is huge. Understand that it is, an expensive coverage. And for people just starting out, it's difficult. I do understand that. But the biggest thing to know is that necessarily your personal auto is not going to cover you the second they find out that you're using it to go to a pressure washing job. Your personal auto might say, well, we don't cover you for that. We didn't know you were a business.
Yes. Because when we went to get our truck finance, which is a pressure washing truck, got all the equipment on it, they said you got to have commercial insurance.
Right.
For that.
Yeah, because
at least they was up front with us. They didn't say, yeah, we're insured, and then down the road something happened and nope, you ain't got no insurance. So
at least they told
at least they were honest to begin with, because unfortunately I think a lot of people starting out think that, well, it's my personal truck, so I'm going to keep it on this personal auto policy and never question it. And I understand, but you have to check with them to make sure that incidental business use or even just business use is not excluded, and that when something happens, there's coverage there.
Especially if they're wrapped or if they got stickers on that name their business email and phone number and website. They're like, no, it's my personal vehicle.
Anything like that, and you absolutely have to be, not only for the fact that it's wrapped and your business name is plastered all over it, but also, you're a company now, so people think they look at you as kind of a walking target, kind of. You're right, kind of. You're right. Like you're more subject to a lawsuit that exceeds what your personal limits are going to be.
So if I have my personal truck and I have a trailer and I hook my trailer to my personal truck, is that considered, does that fall into that? Or do I need to put my personal truck on commercial insurance too?
Yeah, usually so when we can't just put a trailer on commercial auto, there has to be a pulling vehicle. So your personal truck, if that's what's pulling that trailer, needs to be on the commercial policy as well, even if it's not wrapped. And also, your personal policy is not going to cover any type of tools and equipment. There's no way for us to add equipment value to a personal auto policy like we can on a commercial auto policy.
I'm not a hat person, so that's all I could take. That's all I could take. Okay, so
We're done with it.
I'm done. I was festive for how long? 11 minutes.
I was about to say you got it
You
for like
did
a
great.
solid 11 minutes.
I was there. It was just bothering me. Anyway, so we talked about this a little bit before the show. You need the right kind of coverage on that vehicle as well, because if you don't have the right kind of coverage and your trailer gets, we've seen this happen. A guy was going down the road and this car pulled out and just waited for the truck to go by and just nailed his trailer. And it wasn't a pressure washing trailer, it was a landscape or whatever, but nailed that trailer because they just were waiting for the truck to go by and didn't even think there was a trailer. But would that be covered if you don't have the right coverage on your vehicle?
No, I mean, so commercial auto will cover it, but you have to have that trailer listed on the policy as well. So we'd have the trailer and the truck listed. Plus, knowing the value of the equipment that you guys have on the trailer is so important because, you know, it might be a $5,000 trailer, but now you've put $15,000 to $20,000 of equipment on that trailer. We need to make sure we value that trailer at that $25,000 to $30,000 mark and not some $5,000 trailer.
So I just thought of this because when we go on,
Who puts $10,000 worth of equipment on a trailer this day and time?
Yeah, what is that?
Right.
You gonna have a pressure washer and a tank.
So first of
I
all,
know.
take pictures, keep receipts,
Yes.
serial numbers, but also, is there gap insurance for something like this? Because you know, when you put $20,000, that's low right now because of everything. But if you put 20,000 on and 5 years down the road, it's not worth 20 anymore. Insurance wise, if you have a $50,000 policy on, well, I guess it'd be more than that. So 100,000 on truck and trailer, and it depreciates. What does that look like for somebody if they get in an accident?
So there's no gap insurance. Most of these policies run at like an actual cost value or replacement cost value, depending on how the policy is structured. So it's just important to, you know, we here at Connie Phillips Insurance constantly do what we call like an annual account review. Every single year we take a look at your policy. It's just important. And I know also like a lot of you all flip out your equipment as one thing breaks or when, you know, things break, get old, whatever, and you flip them, really making sure that we have the proper value of that trailer at any given time.
You're going to have so much fun with Shane. I'm just telling you. 'Cause as soon as he comes out, it's on his truck because we don't sell anything we won't use. So when new equipment comes out, it's on his truck. New hose reel
Right.
comes up. He takes the old off and put everything on the new truck. When I was
And as
washing
long
full
as
time, I got all the bad stuff. They weren't bad, but I got all the hand-me-downs because he had the brand new stuff.
As long as it values out about the same, you're okay. But if you're replacing a $10,000 piece of equipment with a $25,000 piece of equipment, now there's a gap.
Well, that sounds like him. That's definitely him.
So you're telling us to keep a close eye on him, right, Trudy?
Yes.
Okay.
Anthony,
Okay.
what do you
Barry,
think?
I see at the right of my screen that you mentioned inland marine. That's great, but inland marine's not going to cover like a customization done to your truck or trailer. So if you have physically attached that equipment to a truck or a trailer, now that they're going to consider that a customization to the vehicle and not necessarily loose equipment, which is what inland marine's more for.
Okay, so we had a
Explain what inboard marine is.
Inland marine is your tool and equipment coverage, but that's going to be for like loose equipment, stuff that you're not physically bolting or attaching down to a trailer, or a truck. So like a lot of times like tractors can fall under that, which wouldn't so much be you all, but like your loose hoses or like brushes, like window brushes. I've seen some people with like the drive surface cleaners that you can actually drive because they don't stay
Yeah.
permanently attached to the trailer. They
Oh
can
my
go on there. Right. Yep. Yes, so they can go on there as inland marine because it's not physically attached to the trailer. But once you attach it to a trailer or a truck,
Permanently.
now you've customized that vehicle.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
I thought we had a question, but it wasn't. It was what coverage do I need if I make a claim that Trudy's hat was giving me clockwork orange vibes? I don't know if that's a thing. That's why I took it off. And then the orange, it's red. Come on, look. I almost feel like Michael Jackson right now. No. Okay.
Michael Jackson.
Don't ask me to dance because it's horrible. Anyway, so yeah, definitely watch Shane because he will buy unnecessary stuff. And it's just,
New
it was
equipment.
just me and him washing. Now it's him and one guy. It's not like we have 20 people with all the trucks and trailers that Shane buys and builds up. We have 2 people washing. 2.
But you know, that's
Right.
that's kind of a good thing, Trudy, because if something goes down and breaks, he always come home and get the other one and take it.
Do not encourage him, Anthony. Do not.
Hey, as long as he's got proper insurance on it, you're okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's like me. You know, I got 3 machines on my new trailer, and one of them tore up, and I had to send it back, and I still ain't got it back yet. And so I got 2 on there, so I can still keep going. That's why you need extra stuff.
Yeah, you need a backup for your backup. That's why you have 3.
Backup for the backup for your backup.
Your one backup is gone now because of warranty issue. So now you got your backup for your backup's gone.
I got so much equipment. If I had it all insured, I'd be broke.
It's good to have a backup plan.
Well, and then if we're on the topic of equipment, the other thing to watch for, and I just ran into this like a couple days ago, where the gentleman is financing the piece of equipment. It's quite expensive, and the bank has regulations as to what he has to carry. He has to carry not only a liability limit on that piece of equipment, but property coverage as well. So you have to watch that too, because now that has to be added to like your general liability policy as a piece of property, and they have to be added as a loss payee. So sometimes when you're financing it, the bank tells you what you have to do.
Or you've got contracts.
Some type of contract.
But that would be about like buying a car and not putting insurance on it. And having it
Kind of.
financed.
Pretty much.
And you know, because they're going to require you to put insurance on your vehicle or your motorcycle or your boat, whatever else you buy. I mean, so if you financing something, I mean, I say common sense, but you know, some will get out here and we smell too much of chlorine at one time and we don't have many brain cells left.
It happens.
So, yeah, this cough makes me miss the chlorine cough. Not really, but I'm like, remember when I accidentally mixed bleach with some damn iron rust remover and I was coughing for 40 minutes straight. Learn not to do that again. But I didn't know Shane had already washed the house. I could smell it because, we're both working and I sprayed it on there. I was like, oh. It was a mushroom gas. I was dying. So this has happened to me before. Thank goodness nobody has gotten hurt. I lost a 28-inch surface cleaner off my trailer. It wasn't me. I didn't put it on. My employee did. I put mine on first. But my fault as a business owner because I did not walk around and double check everything. So I lost a $1,200 piece of equipment on the highway somewhere. But if that would have hit another car and cause injury, auto damage, or death. And what coverage? I mean, is it still under the same coverage? Is it still?
It's still going to fall under your commercial auto.
Okay.
Your commercial auto is going to cover that, but that's why I think everybody's a little shocked when I'm always like, for commercial auto limits, we usually go somewhere in that like 500,000 range as a minimum, and even upwards of $1 million. And it's because just what you said, it doesn't take very long for something to fly off your trailer and cause some serious damage.
Yeah, I've seen ladders on the side of the road. I've seen coolers on the side of the road. I've seen those Gatorade things on the side of the road. I've seen some of the stuff on the side of the road, and I'm just like, oh, that looks like it belongs to a pressure washer. Because I'm like, the way it looks, because it's all corroded. But you have to protect yourself, because if you don't have the right coverage, you could get sued and lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your whole company.
Every
Yeah.
yeah.
Company, file bankruptcy, whatever.
Right.
I mean, it's scary.
Yeah, we
And
have
it
to be-
doesn't take very much.
No, one ladder flying off and going through a windshield. That's all
Yeah.
it takes.
And hitting someone the wrong way is all it takes.
So, you guys do workers' comp and all that kind of stuff also, or no?
Yeah,
So-
and workers' comp is one of those funny coverages because that's super state specific. So every state has a different requirement. So what they require in Maryland versus what they require in Florida or Texas is different. It's not the same. So it's important to know if you're going into business, how many employees you're legally allowed to have prior to you being required to carry workers' compensation coverage. And now we're even running into the situation where it could be an owner only, but contracts are requiring the workers' compensation more and more too, especially commercial contracts.
We get calls all the time, and it's weird from homeowners. Like, we get a funny vibe when they're like, okay, well, I accept your bid, but I want a copy of your insurance. And I'm sitting there like, well, it kind of makes me feel like they want to claim before we even start. You know, it's like red flags to me. Like,
They want to see your limits.
Yeah. I'm like, do I even want to do this? You know, so.
Well, I do appreciate the contracts that are up front at the beginning, because
Yes.
if they're not, and then you guys do the job
Yes.
and then don't have the coverage, I've seen it where people are like, well, we're not going to pay you because you didn't have the coverage.
Right. I mean, we get it with commercial. We always send it with commercial. We don't have a problem. But like, you get a house that's, a double wide, and it's,
Residential. That's
85 residential double wide, and they're like, we need to see your insurance. I'm like, no, because there's an 85, and your window sills are probably gone because it's Florida, and I'm not going to replace all your windows. So usually if we look at the house, I mean, if it's a multi-million-dollar beach house, I get it. But we look at each job, and it's like, no, you're not getting my insurance because I know what you're going to do. And then we have to prove we didn't do it. So,
Yeah.
And you have that gut feeling, that sense,
Yeah.
And I feel like it's never a bad thing. And it's hard when you're small because you're trying to take everything, and I get it. But it is important that if you think that this job could potentially lead you more damage than it's worth, or more expense than it's worth, walk away. It's just not worth it.
Which is good for people that are not experienced and they haven't, I get a lot of people saying, I've never washed a roof. What do I do? What equipment do I need? I'm like, what I would suggest is partner up with somebody that does do roofs. Even if you're just helping out for education.
Right.
Or say, hey, I've got this roof. I've never done one. Would you mind coming here and showing me? And I'll give you 80% or 60% or whatever, just to learn how to do it right, instead of just willy-nilly getting up on the roof with a surface cleaner with no harness. I mean, I've seen it happen.
And in your line of business, roofing is one of the hardest coverages to cover.
Yeah,
you have to be really careful, because I've seen so many people that are like, I have this coverage, and we go and we start flipping through deck pages, and it's not your all's fault. I mean, deck pages are 200-300 pages long, but somewhere, when you go through these declaration pages or the full policy, there's some exclusion in there that states you're not allowed on a roof at all.
Yep.
So we've got, not you can't win, Anthony. Okay, so we've got Antonio Curry. And Chris has already said what he wants. Antonio put S if you want to win a surface cleaner at 16 inch. So if your machine's too big, don't put S, use C for the cooler. And Patrick, he is here. I know you're one of my customers because you're right down the road. So if you want to win, your machine's too big, so put C for cooler also, so you can win this beautiful cooler. And then maybe I'll just keep it because I know where you live. Anyway, that wasn't nice. It wasn't not very festive for.
But it goes with your colors, Trudy.
No, I loved it. But the host company was generous to give it to me over a year ago to give away. And I tried, didn't I, Anthony? I tried so hard. And I'm just like, but it's so pretty right there. And then the girl came out and I just couldn't do it. And then Whisper Wash donated the surface cleaner. So thank you guys for that. You need the surface cleaner, Barry? I'm quite sure he's got larger equipment than that. Okay, so,
He don't need no surface
I
cleaner.
know. So we did have a question from Joe.
He
When
don't even run his own surface cleaners. Knowing the guy, he don't need the one. He don't need another one.
you can't run that over plants. Anyway, so Joe said when my rig got wrecked, I had to decline $20,000 of work and had a gap that put me at 18.5 loss on top. Wreck sucks. Insurance values as vehicle is not a tool. What can cover loss on jobs? So if you
So there is
go ahead.
there is some coverage out there that can be added, not so much to general liability by itself, but if you have what we call like a package, which is usually general liability and some property insurance, and it's a complete insurance package, they do have some coverage on some carriers, some policies that will give you the option of like loss of income, and it will help you in that scenario. But that's tricky because, I mean, you could be out for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I had a buddy. He lives here in the same town. He had a 5500 Chevrolet, probably $100,000 truck, loaded down with equipment. His guys, somebody T-boned him in the side, and he lost his tail because they didn't want to replace his equipment for what it would actually be worth.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. So how does that work? If I wreck my truck, or if I wreck my trailer, or something happens to it, and say I got 40 grand worth of equipment on my trailer, how am I going to recoup? I know I'm not going to get everything back, but instead of my insurance, well, we're going to give you $10,000.
Most of the time it's on
See what I'm saying?
Right. A lot of times it's on an actual cash value basis. That's just how insurance for auto, that's how it's typically ran. But it is really crucial to have some sort of receipt. This is how much I paid for this equipment, because I can throw a number out there and I can put it in the system, but without proof, I'm kind of dead in the water. I can't tell this company that it's worth $20,000 if I can't prove that it's worth $20,000.
So keep your receipts. I know we
Pictures.
pictures and serial numbers, but I've had people call me like, hey, can you send me the receipts? And sometimes we have it, but if they come into the store, there's no way we can look at that. I'm usually, if we take, what I told my guys now we got a new GM is when we sell equipment, I want a serial number, I want the receipt, and I want it copied because the receipt paper over time fades. So I want the serial number and the receipt I want in a folder, because for warranty work or just like this,
Right.
It comes in handy when you save this stuff. And just because, we have a business card and we buy stuff for Panhandle, we buy stuff for our wash company. I was like, oh, well, it just comes out of that account, so we don't have to keep receipts. But there's sometimes you do. There's sometimes you really need to keep those items just to get what you have paid back, because
Right.
just because one person, you can go online and you can see hundreds of dollars in difference on prices, and sometimes
For equipment.
it's an older model, or they just had way too many and they're just 5% over, where other people are like, okay, we need this to pay our bills and pay our employees and pay our insurance, our workman's comp, and keep the lights
Right.
on. So
Right.
there's going to be a variation, and I'm sure if somebody's going to pay me, you are not taking my chickens. Sorry.
What?
I saw it over here and need some dog meat too, so I was
Don't
looking
mess
at
with my
that one.
chickens. They have names. My chickens have names. They love me.
Aw.
But I'm just seeing that. It's like a quarter mile. I'm like, So it's important to keep the value of what you paid for, because anybody can go and look, and I'm sure, I'm not saying all insurance, but they're going to want to pay the minimum that they have to pay.
Well, and not only that, but like especially for, and I see it more in pressure washing probably than any other industry, but you guys buy these trailers that are built for you with the equipment that you need on them, like they're built like that. And so it's very hard to value those trailers out without a receipt of what all's on there, because that the trailer itself, when you look up the VIN number, doesn't have all that customization that's been done to it.
Nope.
So when we do our trailer builds, and we build them custom per contractor's specifications, because we're not all going to do commercial, so they don't need a 525 gallon tank. We're not all going to do roofs. They don't need a soft wash system.
Right.
Or we're only going to do roofs, so they don't need a pressure washing system. So we build trailers custom, and we do a work order. Every piece, even to the hoses and the fittings, are on this work order. So when they get it, they get an itemized sheet, and they get it emailed to them, and we give them a copy. So everything's on there. So
Yep.
it's down to
Email
the
that to your insurance agent.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Email it to your insurance agent.
Because I can look at it and I can be like, okay, so we have, this trailer's valued out at $35,000 with this equipment, with these serial numbers. And now if I take that to any insurance company, they're willing to work with me because they can see itemized what's on that trailer and how much each piece costs.
So each insurance policy is not like the other. They're
No,
all going to be
it's
custom,
not.
they're all going to be different. So you can call your neighborhood guy. It's like, oh, my buddy's got this coverage. That doesn't necessarily mean it's what you need.
The next door person
Yeah.
next to you has the same coverage.
Yeah.
Correct.
The problem with insurance premiums too is that it goes by so many different things. So it's hard. Like I see a lot on like the Facebook chats and stuff with people talking back and forth, which it's great because it's education. At the very least, you guys are talking and getting to feel what it's like, but it varies. Like how much you all make, your gross revenue, all of that impacts the gross revenue. Do you do roofs? Do you go over 3 stories? Like that has such an impact on your all's premium that I can't say, yep, your premium's going to be $1,000. That's just not how that works because it really is based on how you've structured your business, employees, payroll, revenue.
So nowadays, there's drones. So the drones, which are very expensive, and you have to be licensed. So now you're not getting on the roofs, but now your equipment just quadrupled in cost. So you also have to bring that up, correct? It's like, okay. So
drones have 2 totally different issues. So not only should you cover the equipment, now almost every single standard general liability policy is going to exclude aviation 100%, which is what drones fall in. It falls in a small unmanned aircraft. So it's an aviation policy. And if you all don't have that aviation policy and that drone does damage, there's no coverage on like 99% of your general liability policy. So usually what that looks like is a general liability policy that you have to take out, and then an aviation policy to cover that drone exposure.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know that. We outsource our drones because I told my husband, no, you got the right lawnmower. And now
you didn't want him to get a new toy?
He just got a new NPP or NRR, whatever the big one is. Anyway, which got aluminum bed, everything. And he's like, babe. I'm like, don't babe me because I know where this story's going. No.
Well, he just got a base rig too, not last year.
That's what I said. He got the ride-on lawnmower, and then this year he got the big old truck. Well, because this is his excuse. So I used to pull the 16-foot trailer because I'm too short to reach in the back of a truck skid. So I had to pull the trailer. Right. And so now I can't wash anymore out in the field because of all my injuries. So now he's taking all that equipment, all the commercial equipment, putting it on the truck, which is way easier than pulling the trailers through our little streets down here. You've been here. They're,
they're small.
They're small.
Yeah.
They're quaint.
They're very quaint. And when you have to back up a trailer down on 98 into a 1-car driveway and unhook the truck during spring break, and then when you get done washing, hook the truck back up and go down 2-lane road.
This is where I would bow down to you.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something I want to do.
He had a truck skid, and he went and did something not on that road. And I came home, and it was not a good conversation. And I don't say a lot of 4-letter words, but I pretty much covered them all in that conversation. I was like, why would you make me? And people like, all these guys like, hey, honey, you need help? And I'm just like, I'm frustrated right now.
No.
Bleach sprayer said he'll gift you some stilts.
No, because the
She
truck has to be
don't, she
big
don't
enough
need
to hold.
she don't need them, brother. She'll fall and break her neck again.
Oh, yeah. I got
I mean, they got
lovely
that like
stuff.
baseball player that plays in stilts. Trudy can just be the pressure washer on
Yeah,
stilts.
yeah. I don't know, make my skirt look a little shorter.
That it might do.
I
Anyway.
still have her listed in my phone as pressure washing queen.
There you go.
That's what
Oh.
you're listed in my phone as.
Oh, I still play around with it. I dabble, but I just can't do it full time. You'll never let me. I mean, I have to. I had oral surgery because I had a root canal that cracked, and I had to go get oral surgery. And I was so drugged up, and I don't remember this. I was told I'm on camera, but I got out of the truck. I walked right to work, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I got stuff to do." And they're like, "Go home." And I did not remember that. And I'm like, "Fine, I'll go home." And they're like, "You can't eat nothing. Just go home and sleep." But I just like right to work. So yeah, it's hard to keep me down. So, yeah, when they say 6 to 12 months on this thing, I'm like, okay. So you mean weeks, right? Right. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Right.
6 to 12 months is a long time.
That's a long recovery
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Good make it though. She just got to remember don't get one of them slumps she got in last time.
well, I didn't think I was dying. I don't think I'm
call
gonna die this time. I had poison in my body, killing me.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm good. I was good.
Still got one good arm to swing though.
Yeah. I know. Oh. Well, I'm right-handed, so I can still
Still got
work.
one good arm, right?
Yeah, yeah. I got my right hand. That's my working arm. That's what I said. I won't be down that long. I can put it in sling and keep doing what I'm doing. So anyway, back to.
Jeez.
I mean, you,
Oh, trust me, I get yelled at all the time. What are you doing? I'm fine. But anyway.
you don't need arms to do what you're doing. All you're doing is talking.
I got a lot of social media stuff I need to do.
You can do that with one hand.
I got shipping. People expect their goodies in their back end.
That's what you got people that works for you to do.
Now's a good time to tell all employees that if you have an injured employee like her, don't let them work for you because you're not going to want to pay the workers' comp claims.
Well, owning the business, I'm on it. So, you know, I'm good. Anyway.
I mean, you're the owner, so
owner,
you
so
don't
you're-
really count.
You can be
Oh.
excluded.
But if you have employees and they're trying to come to work in a sling and work, maybe don't allow that.
Oh, so you're telling me to set a good example. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
getting at.
maybe just
Little
a
bit.
little bit of one.
Mhm.
You know, I've seen some work comp claims get really expensive really quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about work comp for a second.
Well, I was going to say,
Okay.
I bought one of my guys. I bought him because he just started. You know, we're paying him good, but he's still going to catch up on whatever life
Let me talk.
gave him. So I bought him. He's a mechanic, so I bought him steel toe shoes because he was coming in flip flops and boat shoes, and I'm like, no, that's not happening. Here, what size do you wear?
Not with
You're
his
in Florida.
equipment.
What's wrong with wearing flip flops to work? I mean, come
Yeah.
on, Rudy.
With
Yeah, I'm
that
just like,
equipment.
Yeah, no. I'm like, if that lift drops,
Let's
or you
prevent
drop it- yes, the what ifs.
Yeah,
Well, if that
let's
lift
prevent
drops
it.
on his
Yes.
foot, it don't matter what he's got on. He got some square
Well,
toes anyway.
Well, he picks up machines. You know, he's been working on yours. He can pick it up and drop it and land on toes, and that's it.
It's been down there for a month.
Well, I can't control warranty stuff. We got to do what they say. If you don't do it,
I'm just kidding, guys. It ain't been in there but a week. They do an awesome job. I'm just giving her a hard time.
here's about.
This
he's
janker
about
in
to
her
take my
train.
talk to him again. Shane just texted me. He's telling me to tell Anthony to shut up. No, he didn't.
I don't even see him on
He
there.
didn't say that. I'm kidding. He don't even watch me. You don't know what I do. But anyway, so good to know about drone things. So we outsource ours. That's where I was going before we went down the rabbit hole. But we outsource ours because one, I'm not letting him buy one. Two, he'd be using it for God knows what, because we got a new chemical and he was spraying everything willy-nilly. I'm like, it's not what it's used for. But it's important to know because there's drones that you could buy from China, probably Temu, I don't know. And they were bringing them and using them.
You're not somebody else, so you stay off Temu.
I don't.
Well, and the other thing is if you don't have a drone's license,
Yeah.
then
You should.
there's not there. Yeah, if you don't have a license to fly the drone, no insurance is going to cover you. Period. Like I
Right.
can't even get you an aviation policy if you don't have the license to fly said
Right.
drone. But it is important to know that that exclusion is on. I've not actually seen a general liability policy that didn't exclude it, at least
So,
in the pressure washing industry.
so I talked to a guy because, my class, is substrate protection, the paint issue, all that, testing. This is what's going on with it. Been doing that for over 15 years. And I had a customer call. Not only did he, and a local pressure washer, not only did he change the color of the house, but he also damaged the stain on the deck. So he called me.
Oh,
He said, "What do I do? Give me the information." I'm like, "Well, this is it." I said, "But," he goes, "but my insurance isn't covering the house because I was hired to paint, wash the house, but they'll paint the deck." He said, "I'd rather paint the deck than paint the house." And I'm like, "Well, you should have checked your coverage." I said, "And that's why we have insurance agents come to the expo to explain all this. Is errors and omissions, and errors? What is that one? Errors and omissions? Is that what it?"
So there's two. So there's error emissions, and that's going to be negligence. Usually, that's going to cover your negligence. And
Okay.
sometimes they will find you to be negligent if you don't have pictures that prove you did a test spot and you didn't turn the whole house. Another big one in the industry is care, custody, and control. That one I feel like I've probably explained to like I'm purple in the face, but it's just so important because it's not talked about a lot. But if you take possession of something and you damage it, for example, I pull a grill across, the patio so I can clean the patio, and I break their grill. You've taken possession of that grill by moving it now, and you broke it. And there's no coverage on your general liability policy without that care, custody, and control.
That is awesome. And when we wash, we'll get, it's like, okay, make sure everything's off your patio. We're not movers. We're not going to be liable for your, if we move their table and break the glass, we're liable for that.
There's no coverage there without it.
Right. And we're liable.
Yep.
I feel bad. So I always, but I've dragged my hose and they've had a big old pot plant, and not pot plant, a potted plant. Sorry. There's no drugs involved, but a potted plant in a huge vase, and my hose got caught and it fell down and I broke it. That's on me because I feel negligent because I was not paying attention. I should have went there, pulled my hose, went around, but most of the time I just say, you need to remove everything you don't want to get wet. If it damaged, it's not our fault. We're not movers. We're not licensed to be movers. We're not insured to be movers. So if you need anything moved, you have to do it. I mean, have we done it for, Miss Betty, who's 78 years old and can't take the chairs off her porch? Yes, we have. But, I try to talk to her. It's like, if anything, is anything worth a couple $1,000 on your porch? If it's, $20, I can do it. But
even telling them that, Trudy.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Even if they don't move it, tell them that we're not reliable for it.
No, I say we're not
still reliable for it.
We're not movers. We are not a moving company. We are not going to move their furniture.
Right. But
you can still very easily be held responsible for it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't move it. I mean, the older lady with her kids there, I feel bad. Most of the time, if it's outdoor furniture, it's safe for the 1% we're using. It's made for outside elements. So unless it's like knickknacks and all that stuff, but unless we're doing the floor, we're just doing the house. I mean, you usually don't have to move it. I am not a plant killer. I save the plant. He is on me today. I don't know what's going on with her.
He is on you.
And you mentioned the tarnishing of like the house or changing the color of the house or there was one on Facebook a couple months back where he had tarnished the doorknob or the lock, like it had changed colors.
Yeah.
That, unfortunately for him, his employee did it, so he wasn't there. And he claims that it was like that before they got there. Well, there was no before picture. So now you have no leg to stand on. So I always tell anybody I talk to, take before and after photos. So that way you can say, this was damaged before I got there. I didn't do it.
And it's also good for your website. And it's also good if you're talking about
I mean, it is.
And you have an iPad and you're like, hey, look at my before and after, what I do.
You said something earlier about test spots and taking pictures of a test spot or video. that you tested the house and stuff. Why, if you test that spot though, and just so happens you spray the other side of the house. I mean, you test several different. I do. I don't know who else does, but I just don't test just one spot. I walk around the house and test several different spots.
I taught
But
you well.
if you
Really
spray up
smart.
top, if you spray up top and it happens, you still got that spot that you tested and it didn't happen. What happens then? I mean, we still gonna have to paint the house, or y'all gonna have to pay to paint the house.
Typically, and here's the problem, because every carrier can handle that differently. It's going to be up to the claims adjuster at the end of the day. But at that point, it's harder for you to be found negligent because you at least did everything you could to prevent it from happening. You did your test spots. You did, you went through the steps to protect yourself and prevent it from happening. And it was really just an accident. But if you just spray a house with no, oops, I tested it first, they can get you for negligence, and negligence isn't covered under general liability. That's errors and omissions. And so they can deny the claim and say, we're not covering that house.
So we've talked about substrate structures, decking, fences, all these hard substrates. But what if you go in there and, we're 106 degrees. You're using 1%, which is less than what you put in your darn laundry. It's very minimal. But you pre-wet the plants and you wash. Then you wet, like I do. I pre-wet the plants downstream, put 1% on, hit my Flow Pro button, and then I rinse again. And then I rinse the house, and then I rinse the plants again. Like, I am an over rinser. But in the end, I use neutralizer, neutralize it, rinse again, because it's what all I do all day is water.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
So if these plants die, or there was a post today where, and this, I tell you what, this yard was not even grass, but there was pictures where they were washing a roof and the downspout burnt the yard. And now the customer wants the contractor to pay to have his yard resodded. It was all dollar weed. It wasn't even grass. You can see in the picture. So he wants a new yard. So is plants and grass and all that, is that included? How does that fit into like substrates?
So you have to be careful with general liability because there's this exclusion that they like to throw on pressure washers. More exterior, when I see it more on janitorial, anybody who's coded as a janitorial cleaner versus a true pressure washer, but they can throw an overspray exclusion on there. And if they do that and you do damage plants, grass, and it's from your overspray or your overrun or anything like that, then no, there would be no coverage there. So it's really important to go through those pages of exclusions. That's what we do for you. If you come to an agency like us, we'll look through the policy and be like, here's a problem. But it really is important to make sure that those weird exclusions aren't on there. I've seen an exclusion as crazy as to say that anything damaged by water is not included on a pressure washing policy.
Wow.
I've seen that with you. Yes.
Wow.
If you damage it by water, there's no coverage. How does that work?
Yeah.
If you're a pressure washer.
Yeah.
You don't blow air.
Yeah. You said something that caught my attention. You had two different companies, but you got a lawn and garden guy that pressure washes a house.
On the side. He's the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His main title of his company is Joe Landscape Company.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he gets this house to wash. And Joe Landscape Company is not a pressure washing company. You said there's there's a difference there. I'm not knocking on my landscape guys. I got buddies that's landscapers and stuff.
There's no issue with it if your insurance company knows you're doing both, because there are companies out here that'll say, 90% of my company is landscaping, and that is my primary. But I do incidental pressure washing, or 15 to 20% pressure washing, or even 10%. But you have to tell them that you're doing that, because if you are doing something that the insurance company doesn't know about, that's a very gray area on if they're going to cover that claim or not. And pressure washing in particular is one of those things that a lot of companies want absolutely nothing to do with.
So Barry just asked a good question, because last week we had AC on, and he said the EPA in Florida, if you are using a product it's not intended for, so a lot of guys use Dawn dish soap and they put it in the chlorine to wash houses. It's not labeled intended to wash houses. It's intended to wash dishes. Now, if they use that product, which a lot of guys do, and cause damage, could that come back on them because they're not using the product that's labeled?
And not only can it come back on them, but it can come back on them in a manner of general liability is not going to pick it up, because now you're negligent for using a product that's not intended to be used for that situation. You can't just throw any chemical onto a house or onto any type of product onto something that it isn't intended for and hope for the best. That's just not probably the best thing to do for an insurance perspective. Right. I don't recommend
You're praying
that.
at that point.
Yeah. I mean,
I know it's hard because Dawn dish soap is
a grease cutter.
It's a safe chemical. It's safe, right? We see it on, commercials being used for ducks and everything else. But if it's not intended to be used for that, you can get caught up real quick.
But did you know that degreaser is what's causing the aluminum to change? That picture you've seen on the doorknob, a degreaser is pulling the oils out of the aluminum, causing that damage. So even though it's safe for a duck, it's not safe for aluminum.
Right. Safe for aluminum. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
See, now I learned something new tonight. Thanks,
I didn't know that's what caused it, but
yes. So degreasers, anything, not anything caustic, because you can use One Restore on there to get it, and there's a fix for aluminum, but it does pull the oils out. Like Shane and I was washing commercial, and this is how we learned. This was probably 19 years ago, 18 years ago. And we're looking, and they left all the furniture out, and we were just pulling it to one side, degreasing, pushing, cleaning, and pushing it to the other side and spraying degreaser. And we're like, what happened to the legs on all this furniture? It's like, oh my God. It was a corporate thing. The manager didn't care. But for me, I'm just sitting there going, I need to learn about this. I need to learn how not to do this again. And I learned. And, then I keep telling people this is what happens. So degreaser does pull the oils out of some metals. And
that's what happens when you go to these restaurants and they're white. They got black doors and they're all white on the bottom, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you've seen that, now you're going to be looking at every restaurant you go into.
I probably will be. You're right.
If you run into that, can you fix that problem? Can you fix that problem? I know this is totally not insurance related.
No.
Can you fix that?
For aluminum doors, you need to actually clean it first, make sure there's no oxidation. One Restore works for that, and then follow it with Art. Art is an aluminum restorer. It's not treatment, but I can't remember what it is. But it is for this product. People's like, oh, use WD-40. That's not what WD-40 is intended for. So once again, and I'm a washer by heart. I only got into opening the store because I turned 50. I had more surgeries.
Your midlife crisis.
No, my midlife crisis would have been buying another rig.
Let's open up a store in the middle of a pandemic, honey.
I had trigger finger surgery, foot surgery. I had a bunch. My knee, I had to get that done. And on my shoulder surgery, not this one, the other one. But I couldn't do it 6 days.
We're going to call you the bionic woman here soon.
Yeah, I've got metal neck, shoulder, head, shoulders, neck, knees, and toes. I've got metal in them. But that song was not intended for me, by the way. But I opened it because I wanted to stay in the industry. I wanted to help educate. Here's my boyfriend. Hi, Bubba. And then I wanted to help educate and teach people what I learned the hard way so they wouldn't have to. But I even lost where I was going. But anyway, so, when people come to me and say, hey, how do you do this? How do you fix this? What do I don't do it to sell products. I do it to help you guys, because I know we had 2 houses change in a month. It would have cost us $77,000 to repaint both these houses. And that's when I started digging into this issue. And with any issue I come across, I want to know what causes it and how to fix it. But a lot of them, there's no fixing. It's replacing, it's repainting, like those.
And then you want to know if it's covered.
Yes. And then you need to make sure it's covered, because we've learned the hard way. Oh no, we can't do this. Like those gas lanterns. I don't know if you have them up there, but we have a bunch of them down here. It's hot. It's Florida. It's hot. There's gas flames in this glass, and then you're going to spray it with cold water. What's going to happen?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and we had quotes. I didn't do it. Shane did it because I just avoided. I'm going to throw him under the bus because I didn't do it. But $80 for the glass for one lamp, because these lamps are like $2,500 or more per lamp.
Oh.
These are multi-million dollar houses. So,
And keep in mind that if they can be moved, that's going to fall under that care, custody, and control
they
too.
can't be moved. But
They're permanently
permanently attached.
yes. So what you need to do is when we give bids, we know the areas are, the beach areas, the Rosemary Beach. We know what areas have these types. We'll call them. It's like, do you have the glass fixtures? Yes. Can you please turn them off the night before so they're cool? And then, we can cover them. You can't cover them with plastic when they're hot, so it's going to melt. So you're going to damage them anyway. So, ask the questions of your customer, but also make sure you tell your insurance agents what you're dealing with, because every area is different. I'm sure Nebraska doesn't have gas lanterns on their front porch. I'm just guessing, but I'm thinking, in the farm, they don't have them, so it's area wide, but there's different things that you go through in different areas that you need to express, and you need to let you guys know, or whoever your agent is.
Really important to tell us what you're cleaning. Pressure washing can be wide. You can talk to a pressure washer who pressure washes houses, but then you can talk to a pressure washer who does fleet washing and equipment, and that's really 2 different coverages. I mean, it's the same, but it's different.
So if I mainly do like commercial stuff and houses and stuff, so if we got into the fleet washing side, we'd have to get covered for that. It ain't going.
So you just have to go to a carrier that allows you to do that. It is still pressure washing, but it is classified as like equipment or fleet washing. We actually have carriers that will code you to fleet washing, but there are plenty of carriers out there that say, we don't want you to touch tractor trailers. We don't want you to touch cars. We won't cover you if you do any of these things. And if I don't know you're doing them and I put you there because in my head, you're just doing house washing, and hey, I sprayed a fleet and now like I've damaged 6 cars. Well, there's no coverage for that because I didn't even know you were doing it.
Yeah. So you're a house washer and you're washing a house and like, hey, can you do my roof? And the guy's like, oh, I'm here. I'm going to do the roof. He falls off the roof, but he's not covered to wash the roof.
Correct.
So his better have good medical insurance, which I know a lot of these guys who are self-employed do not. So they may be stuck with a lot of medical bills.
Not only the medical bills, but if you guys damage the roof while you're up there, roofs are really expensive to replace. And if you're not covered to wash roofs, there's no coverage, not even to fix the damaged roof. Like there's nothing.
Especially when you're dealing with multi-million-dollar homes.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine having to replace that roof.
Yeah, like you're a 6,000 square foot house, and now you have to replace the whole roof. I feel sorry for you.
Well, that one house we changed was a $500,000 house about 17 years ago, and it would have cost us $60,000 just to paint. Could you imagine the roof on that thing? That would have been, oh my goodness.
And that's
Yeah.
partially why I think so many carriers are getting really particular about the roofs, is that there's just so much expense that goes into that. And so you see more and more carriers pulling from that market. And, it's unfortunate because it makes it harder for you all, but you have to make sure you go to a carrier that's just okay with what you're doing.
So,
And if it's on your website, you're
Yeah.
doing it. If it is
Oh,
on
yeah.
your website,
or
you're doing
Facebook.
it, period.
So if
Even
you're
yes.
answering, you
No.
guys
You're
can-
advertising it.
Yeah, social media, you can see it. If he's up on a roof and you're looking at his policy going, well, Jeff Jones, he's on a roof and he's not covered. I'm
And I'll
gonna
tell
call
you,
him.
carriers will look.
Right, they're getting
we've
smarter.
had a lot of people get
Facebook.
coverage declined, or they, we took a policy out and, well, on their Facebook it says they do roof washing, or there's pictures of them on the roof, so we're going to cancel their coverage now. And I call the guy and I'm like, they're canceling your coverage because of what they see, but I don't do that anymore. Yeah, but it's on there.
You're
Yes.
still marketing it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
on there
it's
as a
marketing.
service you offer.
Yep.
So if you put it on your website or put it on your social media that you offer that service, it doesn't matter if you tell me that you don't, you do.
So one question, there's orgs, we have pressure washing orgs, which I'm a member of too. Great people, great orgs. They do certification classes. Now, if somebody's certified in roof washing or certified in house washing or certified in safety, can they present that to you? And does that offer discounts for what they?
It can.
Okay.
It can. And it can also, an occasion, open markets that maybe would be kind of apprehensive to write it, but now that they know you have all of the qualifications to do it and do it correctly, maybe they're willing to now take a look at that risk and
Write
it for you, because now they know you're licensed or you're certified to do it and do it properly.
Yeah, because I mean, pressure washing is an unregulated industry, which
Correct.
makes it
And that-
really hard.
Exactly. That is why the insurance market is as difficult as it is. You see roofers out here all the time and you're like, well, why can they get insurance? Well, they're regulated, they have to be licensed and different things to that nature. Pressure washers don't. There's no regulation on it.
It's crazy, but
I got a quick question. I know we're about out of time, or we're out of time, but anyway, we're just gonna go over a little bit.
like we're ever on time.
For all of us commercial workers that do gas stations and strip malls and stuff, I know. I think it was a few years back, wasn't last year, year before, I think it was. We have it roped off. We have signs up to stay back 100 feet, slippery when wet, blah, 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 blah. A girl comes in, she goes through everything. She goes through the door. She steps inside the doorway. And when she does, she falls, boom, flat on her keister. Well, she lays there for a few minutes. I go over. Y'all was probably at the table when I asked Miss Connie this question a few years back. But I said, are you okay? And she said, oh, my hip. Well, she's still laying there. Well, she gets up. She stands at the counter for an hour, 2 hours. She leaves. She comes back. Now she's doing this.
Yep.
She's videoing. She's taking pictures of everything around. What could help us stop us from being liable for that, even though we can't shut the store down? Most stores are 24 hours this day and time. So how can we protect ourselves as business owners?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard because unfortunately,
You're already doing it.
I hate to say stupidity is kind of covered, and that's the unfortunate thing for you all. Like, stupidity is
Covered
kind
under
of covered
general
under general liability. Like, even though she's kind of the dumb one that did it, like, you all
And
are,
didn't follow your precautions.
but it never hurts to make sure that you can prove that you had it roped off. Like, take pictures of it being roped off, and
it would help the settlement amount.
Exactly. It
Basically,
helps.
if you don't
might,
have,
But
it might not prevent it. I'm not
Right.
saying that you're going to prevent it. 'cause
you're
that's
right,
what people
Barry.
can literally
Barry's right.
sue
He said
for
it takes
anything.
people sue
Yep,
for anything.
they can.
You know
But-
what?
But-
She didn't have keister coverage.
It's important to have just some proof that I did absolutely everything in my power to prevent this from
with
happening.
the roping off and the signs and the slippery when
Yeah.
wet, All that's all precaution stuff that you should take place to help.
Yeah, but even though it happened inside the store, it's still gonna fall back on me.
Not necessarily it could, but it could also fall back on that store owner because their liability could be responsible for it too.
They should have had a rug in front of that door because if it was raining, she could have fell anyway.
No, they couldn't.
My
They couldn't
point.
have a
That's
rug
why
because
I
the door
said
opened to the
that can
inside
get
and the door
tricky.
won't open.
Because her feet could have been wet from a variety of things, and so because it was in the store and not
Slippery
technically where
Crocs on
you're
tile
cleaning,
floor.
yeah, that's a tricky situation because you're not physically cleaning where she slipped and fell. That could very easily be the property owner.
Very easily. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments.
I think the way Miss Connie said it was that she would have to sue every party involved. She would have to sue the gas company for number one.
Yep.
She'll have to sue the property manager that's there that runs the store.
Well, a lawyer's going to do all of that for her.
Whoever they are.
Yep.
And then they would have to sue me.
Correct. It would trickle down.
They got to the gas station, they're going to lose anyway.
Well,
they're going after the big one. I'm with Trudy. They're going after the big ones first.
Yeah, but they ain't going to have the money. She ain't going to have the money to fight a big corporation like that anyway, because where we was at. But
so if I let my sister-in-law drive my wrapped truck and she gets in a wreck, they're not going after her. They're going after Classic Touch.
Yep.
Because that's the company. They think that's got the most. They're going to get the most out of it because you are a negligent business owner.
But she probably. I know I shouldn't say this online, but
it might come back on you.
I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it. But
let me just read what Barry said. People can sue for anything. I'm just going to read what Barry said.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
But guys, we are like 6 minutes over already.
I know.
This stuff, when you get into doing, you get talking about stuff, it's very educational and for people to know what they really, really need. Time just goes by so fast, and there's still probably questions that we could just come up with to ask. But I mean, we set at that hour and we try to get in and out. But guys, listen, hey, the Panhandle Expo is coming up. It ain't many more months away, and it'll be here. So if you ain't got
a new shoulder and everything,
Trudy gonna have a new shoulder. She gonna have a new shoulder. She got a new ankle. She got a new neck.
A new neck.
I don't know what we're going to replace next year, but
all that did happen, didn't it? Since the last show, my neck, my ankle. Oh, look at me! I'm all titaniumed up for this show.
You're a new person.
The bionic woman.
Yeah, but I wasn't even going to talk because I'm sick, and I was like, I'm just gonna, and then it just.
Right, you not talking.
I get excited about education and helping people. It's just what I am, who I am.
That's why we get so along with you, Trudy.
Yes. So thank you guys. You guys are going to be speaking at the Panhandle Expo. You have a booth there. Guys, I think we have over 300 registrations right now. We have so many great educators coming. We've got learn how to do AI. As you guys seen any of my posts where I tried to do AI, I need that class.
Get on that VIP.
It shows my age. I tried to do a cartoon of myself, and I don't know what happened. And then I tried to make him a drama queen. It just turned him into something else.
We weren't supposed to say that online either.
Say that online.
Anyway, get the VIP experience, guys. We're getting back to the show. First thing, the VIP experience is $150 early bird, $100. All the list of things that you get right there. I mean, you're gonna get shirts, you're gonna get VIP swag bag, you're gonna get lunch, you're gonna get preferred front row seating, everything.
Do you remember the food, guys?
The food
was good.
Oh my gosh.
We got our tickets.
I'd be paying for that 100%.
Yep.
I mean, I've been to restaurants everywhere, and I'm not a foodie. I don't really like food, but I would pay for that food because it is that good. I mean, we were all sitting there.
It was good.
The whole room was silent. I'm like, how do you get this?
That's how you know when the food is good.
Yep.
Oh, Barry's going to buy a VIP if he gets to sit next to you. As long as you keep your hands to yourself, Barry.
I don't sit. I can't sit. I'm too busy.
Now, anyways, there's great education. The paid classes are Tuesday. I think there may be a couple. We've got stainless steel experts coming. We've got Jeffrey Blackman and Anthony. We've got Alana. Who else do we have? I can't even remember. There's so many. We've got, who else is there? Carlos Gonzalez is going to be speaking. We've got
Conway.
Yeah, Phil Conway is going to be speaking. We've got, come on, where's the list? Where's my person?
Dude, I'm gonna give Phil a big shout right here.
Robert
not
There you
Einstein.
go.
Robert
But-
Einstein's going to be speaking. We've
But-
got me and Jeremiah Jarrell with Plant and Property Protection. Chris
But,
Johnson.
but Phil is a phenomenal speaker, guys. If you've not heard this guy speak, you need to get to the Panhandle Expo. The knowledge this young man's got in his brain and his soul pours out for this industry.
Yeah.
He literally breathes, eats, and sleeps this industry. I've never seen somebody. I mean, he just opened up another new company down there in Daytona, and it's took off like a rocket.
Crazy. And then
So,
Chris. can we
I
go
mean,
back
he's
to
crushing everything he puts his hands on turns to gold. So,
Yeah.
touch me, Dr. Phil.
Yes.
And all I got was titanium.
Phenomenal guy, great spirit in him. If y'all ain't heard him, man,
Yeah, no, he's great. And then Chris Johnson, sales and human behavior. Dude, like I'm excited about this because if you don't know human behavior, you come up to a customer that's standoffish, you're going to know how to work it.
I know
If you've
somebody
got one
needs human
that-
behavior teaching.
You've
class
got
anyway.
one that already is trying to pay less, and they were like, "Oh, well, can you do it for this? Can you do it for this? Can you?" You're going to have to learn how to speak to them because your time and what you have to pay as a business owner is valuable. You know, your chemicals, your insurance, everything is.
But what do you do if you tell a customer that's going to be $2,500 and they say, "Well, I can't pay that. I'm paid $2,000." I mean, you're really just degrading yourself. And
Well, you know what I would do? I'll say, well, you know what? I will wash your house, but I'm sorry, that doesn't include the driveway at that price.
Yep.
You know, this is what I charged you for
Robert,
this job.
you gonna say his last name, Trudy?
Einstein. I love it. I put it in the German way. I don't know why. It sounds like a German last name.
He's doing a LinkedIn class.
Nice. In
Which-
commercial sales. I've taken, when Marco did those classes, I sat there and I still cannot. LinkedIn is just, maybe because it doesn't talk back. I don't know. I'm more, like TikTok, I've got one. I don't know how to use it. Instagram, I don't know that either. But Facebook, dude, I got that lockdown. But these other ones, I just can't figure it out. And Brittany Blackman, she is,
I forgot about her.
yeah, she's a local. She
Marketing.
She's amazing. She's amazing. I've known her for years. She is marketing expert.
I had her on the show, and Trudy was somewhere. I forgot where you was at.
I was in Europe.
Was you in Europe?
I was in Europe.
That was a good show too. That went by pretty quick
She's
too.
a firecracker.
Man,
she's
you
a
talking about somebody that
Like
never said
firecracker.
long tail cat in a room full of rocking chairs. That was me because that's the first time I've been on here by myself, and I was like, "Oh Lord."
Oh, she's good. I was trying, but it was like 6 hours ahead. I'm like, dude, I am not getting up at 3 a.m. for you. I don't care.
You pulled me through
Draw the
that.
line there.
Yeah. I mean,
Ladies,
if I
I
was in
wanna
New
thank
Orleans,
y'all
I'd probably still be awake. But in Europe, not going to be awake.
I want to thank y'all for being a part
Thank you.
of the Panhandle Expo and coming down and educating people, talking to all of us about insurance stuff and that stuff we don't know about. I mean, we don't think about it. We just go get an insurance policy. We want to go out and work.
Right?
mean,
Yeah.
so it's good to
Do your
have
job.
people. It's good to have people in your back pocket that's going to look out for you and really care for you and everything. So we appreciate everything y'all do for our industry and appreciate y'all coming down and helping us out during the expo. What
And
you
you
got?
know-
We're
Absolutely.
excited.
We're excited.
And when I first reached out to Connie years ago, she knew very little about the pressure washing, and they dug down. And you guys were showing me pictures. I'm like, oh, that's not pressure washing. That was a joke. You're like, oh, delete. But you guys learn. You learn, and the thing about the expo is we all learn together. We learn from each other. So when
Yep.
people come up to you and say, I had this happen, and you're like, whoa, I've never seen that happen before. How in the hell
Right,
did you
let's
just
look
take
into
all
that.
the bark off a tree? You know, how did that even happen?
Right.
I don't think it did happen. Barry would know, but just because it says licensed and insured on your truck and your business card does
Don't
not
mean you are.
you're insured.
Nope.
You are, but you may not be.
I mean, not insured.
Right. Not properly anyway. Yep.
Just because you got
Check those
car
endor-
insurance, don't mean you got
exclusions.
insurance for what you're doing. So yeah, so just be aware of what you're
I may
doing.
not buy insurance often, but when I do, I buy it from Connie Phillips Insurance Company. How
Yeah.
about that one, guys? There's your new
There you
slogan.
go. Oh, Anthony.
Well, I
Be
guess
right
since I
there with
said that,
you.
I'm gonna have to swap insurance companies. Ain't I?
There you
Anyway,
go.
all right. So you guys, I want to wish you a happy 4th. Guys, if you
too.
haven't, make sure if you want to win 16-inch surface cleaner, 5.5 gallon a minute below, and this awesome Fierce Jet. If nobody wins the Fierce Jet, I don't mind keeping it. It's just to be in my office. But no, they're both going to be given away on the 4th. Thank you guys for your support, and you guys just be happy and safe. Please be safe this 4th.
Yep.
Even if
Yes.
you're not drinking and driving, there are those that are irresponsible and do that. So, back in the day, we didn't have Uber or Lyft. Their taxis were few and far between. There's no excuse why you have to, drink and drive now.
Agreed.
So just be safe. We want to see you here next week. We want everybody to be alive, and we want you to be healthy and unharmed. So
And if you can't afford your Uber, call Trudy. She'll pay for it. Everybody else, good night.
Bye. Bye.